Flosstube. I'm Lori Chicalone and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. I'm starting my video with a small paper pieced wall hanging that I made a couple of years ago, and I thought I'd share it with you for Halloween. Happy Halloween! Today is October 31st, 2018, and it's about noon in New Jersey. We're having exceptionally warmer weather than usual for Halloween. The sun is shining. The trees most of them are still green. I think they're going to go from green to brown here this year. I don't think we're going to have a lot of color. I think it'll just get cold and they'll start dying and falling. A lot of our leaves are still on the trees. Anyway, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for subscribing. Your comments are always great. There were questions that were asked, and I answered them on each individual who asked them. I don't know if I should then reiterate them or not. So if you want to give me your thoughts on that, in case people had questions but just didn't ask them. Anyway, let's get to it. Nothing too much stands out since I've last spoke to you as far as life updates. I've gone to a few annual doctor appointments, and so far so good. Everything has been coming out good results, so that's always good. My husband just left for New York to pick up my mother-in-law. She will be staying with us a couple of days. She lives with my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law has a wedding in Miami, and so we're going to pick her up and have her stay with us. And then on Friday at my daughter-in-law's school, they're hosting a pocketbook bingo. I've never been to that before, but supposedly they give away, they play bingo, and the prize is the pocketbook. So that'll be interesting, and I'm bringing my mother-in-law to that. And my mother-in-law is 90 years old, so she doesn't get out too much, but my husband will drive us there and help us get her situated inside, and then he'll come pick us up later on. It'll be easier for the two of us to maneuver with her. So I'm looking forward to that. That's about it. I think about 3:30ish I'll start getting doorbells ringing, so I'm all ready for them. I have my Halloween vest on, cemetery and the black cat. I've had this for a number of years because I only wear it once a year, especially when I worked in the elementary schools. That was one of my most favorite jobs, is with the little ones. I loved it when they came to the office and we had interactions, and of course kids say the darndest things. And one of the things that we did at Halloween was the entire school dressed up, including the principal and the secretaries. They always included the secretaries in everything there. And so one year I dressed up, and here I found this picture. I thought I'd share it. Let's see, is it coming in? It's not too clear, but I was the pumpkin. And my mother made this costume for my son when he was in kindergarten, I think it was. And I think I still have it up in the attic. And so, yeah, it was one of my favorite jobs, and I miss it, but you can't go back. Moving forward. Okay, Pryor Finish. We're going to get right into it this time. Pryor Finishes. I showed this not too long ago. This is my Lizzie Kate November pillow. This is one of the smallest of the little wall hangings that I made. This is the Country Cottage November Cottage, and a little sleeve, and I'll hang it on my hanger. And it's fabric that I dyed. It's Aida. It looks like 18 count that I dyed with like browns and beiges. And then this is also done on Aida, and this is a Lizzie Kate. I think it was called Thankful or Thanks. So, and I just put it on a little flat hard finish. And this I did last year as well. This was turkey and pumpkin pie. and I saw it too late on McKenna's video. The hatchet, she put some red thread at the end to make it look like blood, and I thought that was clever, but this was already framed and I was not going to take it apart and do that, but I thought that was a cute idea. And I'm only stitching now about a year and a half. I started in April. Well, March would be a year since I'm making Flosstube. So no, it'll be almost 2 years, a year and a half. It'll be 2 years this April that I've been cross stitching. So I don't have much to show as far as cross stitching other than what I'm doing now, and I'm trying to do a little bit for every season. So I don't have as many Halloween themed items as other people and ornaments. I think I'm still favoring Christmas ornaments. So so that's where my I guess my plan is with Christmas right now. And then when I have that where I want to, it's hard to explain, but when I have enough of Christmas that I want to start doing other seasons, that's when I'll start making more Halloween ornaments and things like that. Okay, that is previous finishes. And my present finish, this is on the startitis that I had. This was Plum Street Mary 2, and in the second rotation I finished it, and this is, I did it with magnets, as Priscilla and Chelsea shows on their videos, and even this is with a magnet on. Oops, and that's what happens. So I don't know if I need to put a second magnet on this one to make it, unless it's just because I keep touching it. But that's that's my finish on Mary 2. Yeah, I like it. I like the way it came out. I just wish it would stay still. The second finish I had, and I only had 2 this time, is also a Plum Street, and it's Ghoul Tidings to You. And I had the perfect frame that I picked up at a flea market. And you know what? These came, I guess, because of the fabric that I also stitch on. This is on a 28 count Lugana, and it was Springfield. I think it was Springfield, the color. It's like it has like a greenish tint to it. You can't tell on camera very much, but so it's 28 count, so it's like a 14 count Ada, so it is kind of large. When I look at them on these, it looks smaller to me, and I know I should look at the stitch count and the inches, and I mean, I love it. I have the perfect frame for it, but sometimes I just anticipate them being smaller until I start stitching them. Okay, we're moving along. Next, I'm going to show you what whips I've worked on, and I just remembered I forgot one downstairs. So I'm going to try and pause this. I've never done it before. We'll see how it goes. I'll be right back. Let's see. Okay, it's taping again, and I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. So the first one that I'm going to show you is Little House Needleworks, and I worked on pumpkins for sale. It's not coming out very clearly, but you've seen it. A lot of people have stitched it, and I'm always a year behind. And this is how far I got on it. I think the last time you saw it, I didn't have the P or the I and the N. So I have the S and the sign, and then the top border and bottom border. So I decided that I was going to continue stitching on my fall pieces through November, and then what I don't finish, then it's going to take a rest until sometime next year. I don't know exactly how far, but the next one that I have that I've worked on is Bobbing for Pumpkins. And again, I didn't realize, I guess I see that, you don't. I didn't realize that how much stitching is involved in this until I started doing it. You know, the skirts are full coverage, and it takes me a while to do it. And this again is on 28 count. I think this was Jaslyn. This first piece I'm working on, Jaslyn. I have a little bit harder time seeing the holes definitions in Jaslyn compared to Lugana. On this I did the cauldron with the pumpkins. I have to fill in the background of the pumpkin area, and then the bottom grass, and of course the next witch, the broomsticks, the moon. I got a lot to do. So I don't think I'm going to finish it in either next two rotations, if I do 2 rotations on it in November. But I'm going to see how far I get, and I'll play it by ear as how I'll handle it. The next one that I worked on is Joy by Aury, A-U-R-Y, T-M, and it's a Quaker. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus really clearly today. And this is how far I got on it. I did this top motif, this bottom star, and this one right here. That's what I did in the 2-day rotation. The first 2 day I did the other 2 pieces, 2 sections. I really love this one. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, because October was the Sal of Hawk Run Hollow, I was working on the year in Hawk Run Hollow. And I've seen this completed by Amy Loves Toad, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. But I got to tell you, I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know why, but I finished the January block and definitely putting it to bed. Eventually, maybe. I'm thinking that because I'm doing it on a 16 count, which would be like doing it on a 32 count, it's going to be a big piece. So I was then thinking, as I was stitching this, that I might do them individually and then like switch them out every month, like I do my little cottages, and then do it on some kind of flat fold and put it into a frame, and then every month just pop it out and put in the new one. So that's what I'm thinking on the Hawk Run Hollow one. I don't think I'm going to finish it as a whole piece. And the one that I ran downstairs for, that I was working on yesterday, was Little House Needleworks Autumn ABCs. And I had gotten up to Harvest when you saw it last. And somebody said, do the letters first and it'll go quicker. And it seemed to have. I did the scarecrow on the first day of this rotation and the letters. And then I did pumpkins, and I started the plants. These, I think they look like either sunflower plants, flowers. Yeah, I think that's what they look like to me, sunflowers. So that's how far I got on that one. The light is a little... So I'm enjoying this one, and hopefully in the next month I should be able to finish that one. Okay, I have showed you everything that I've worked on, and now we get to haul, y'all. Okay, I'm going to start with, I was watching Deb and Liz, the Country Stitchers, and they shared a caddy that they bought online, and I thought it was an excellent idea. It was vinyl, it was see-through, and it was always on the back of my mind, and I thought maybe when the kids asked me what do I want for Christmas, I was going to tell them to get me that. But on, not this past Saturday, the Saturday before, we had a meetup at Needleworkers Delight, and we were having lunch there. The owners provide lunch for us, and I was standing online, and on the windowsill I said, oh, is that what I think it is? And sure enough, and I bought one. think it was called, I cut the tag off, I think it was called a Sassy Tote. And this was the small one, which is good for me. And they had a larger one. It was larger in that it was long. Oh, you can't see my hand this way. Okay, it was a little bit longer like this. The longer one was $20. This was $15.95, and I love it. And I keep my the things that I use, and I can bring it downstairs if I needed to, or this is the one that I use up here. And what I also purchased when I went on for vacation was this little light, Mighty Bright light. And I used it going more so to Europe than coming back, because we travel at night and they turn the lights off in the plane. And I didn't want to turn on the overhead because, you know, people that are trying to sleep around me, and I don't know, I just felt uncomfortable doing that. But I had this for that very reason. And what was nice about this, it has a I don't know what the UBC, it has a port that you can plug in, and the airlines has a thing where you can plug in your phone to charge it, or your tablet, or if you bring a computer, you can do that. So I did it with this, and actually the light shone brighter when I plugged it in, and so this was perfect for travel. So that's my purchase from Needleworkers. I purchased some floss. Sometimes I think my bills run up so highly because of the floss that I buy, because I usually buy a lot of them. I put some of them with projects already, but these are the ones that I haven't put away yet. I showed you this in a previous video that I purchased, but I purchased all the different rooms that go with it, and that'll be the finished project. I know a lot of you have seen it on Flosstube and on Instagram already. You know what? When I saw the house, I thought it was going to take such a long time to stitch up, and I says, oh, I don't know if I want to. But every time I saw somebody work on it, it was like they had gotten so much accomplished. I won't be able to do it for this Halloween, but I'm thinking that I might start this either in the spring or the summer and be ready for next Halloween. But then again, I might start it sooner when I get into one of my stitch all the things. I purchased a little bit of fabric. This is a 28 count mushroom Lagana, just a small piece, a 9x9 for some ornaments. And this one's a 14 by 22 in laurel green. Has like a greenish tint. I guess if I put it next to this green, maybe it'll show a little bit. Very, just a hint of green, and it's a Lugana. I picked up, this one I had, but is part of the series, Land That I Love. This was Hocus Pocus Halloween, and this one is Jolly Holly Holiday. I love these. And I love finished in the circle, but I don't know so much in the jar bowl. I picked up a Waxy Moon design, Frosty Friends. I think that bottom one is adorable. I'm not crazy about the white, but I think if I do it on a gray fabric, it'll pop. That's my big thing. I think whenever I'm stitching, that when I stitch with white, I want to make sure you see it. And there's a few projects that I know that it's so close, but in real life, I guess it shows maybe a little bit more than it does. And I love this one, Waxy Moon a Christmas House Trio, and that's the winter one, Christmas House Trio. Love that one too. And on 28 count, it says it should be about 4.5 by 5.5. Love it, love it, love it, love it. This was so adorable. They had these samples on a counter at Needleworkers, and there was one that was springtime and it had a dog, but they didn't have that one in. So I thought I'd start with this one, and it's a scissor holder. I don't know if it does it justice, but it's a flat fold, and this will all be new to me in the finishing, but I'm going to give it a shot. I love this. I'll probably start this either in December or January. Yeah, I love that. I picked up the latest yearly Prairie Schooler, Let It Snow. I don't know, like, it says 2018, but I don't think they're still designing. So I don't know how these come out, but tell me if I'm wrong. I'm new to all this, so I don't know. You know, like I hear that people say I have an original Prairie Schooler or a reprint, so maybe this is a reprint of a prior year, but I don't know. Anyway, I got the 2018 one. I think this, if I can get this done for Christmas, I know exactly who I'm going to give it to. Now the idea is to get it done for Christmas. I saw Teresa Little Stitcher stitching one of these. I think she did the collections #1, but I went with the colors that I needed for the person that I'm in. I'm not saying who, because I don't know if she watches my videos occasionally or not, but I think this is adorable. The only thing is, it doesn't tell me what size fabric or what fabric they used. So I'll probably bring this back to needleworkers and ask them to help me pick out a piece of Lugana for this piece. Alrighty, and last but not least, of course, the Christmas ornament book. And I haven't even gone through this yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I always love the things that are in here. So that's my haul. Now my plans, I have some plans to share with you for November, the beginning of November. I was going to start this tomorrow, and I don't know how, like, I don't want to commit to tomorrow because like I said, my mother-in-law will be here, and I don't want to sit and stitch. Most of the time that she's with me, I want to be able to enjoy her. I told her to bring some recipes with her, so I'm hoping that she remembers. And because the recipes from baking especially, and where they don't measure but they do it by eye, so I want to see if I can learn from her. So hopefully she'll bring her recipes with her and we can try a few different things tomorrow. That was my plan for tomorrow, if we don't take her out somewhere. And then on Friday, we'll be going to the pocketbook bingo. And then Saturday, sometime Saturday, we'll be taking her home. But, so the plan was to get some ornaments done for the holidays. And what I'm planning on, so it's either, okay, we'll say November 3rd, because that night she should be home and I should be back to my stitching routine. So, and then I'll do the 2-day rotation on these as well. And I'm going to start with the Lizzie Kate Peppermint Sleds. Wrong way, this way, sorry. And I have the perforated paper that I'm going to do it on. I have the 3 cut out. And I don't know if I'll do the 3 of them. I'm definitely going to do the mug and the cardinal. I love the cardinal. So I'll see how many. The plan is to get 3 done in 2 days. It sounds like nothing. Usually when I think it sounds like nothing, it goes on and on. So, and if I still have time, maybe I'll cut out another one and try another one. Then I'm going to start Joy to the World, another Lizzie Kate. This one, Cindy from Cindy Cross Stitch sent me. And after I stitch it, I will be passing the stash. Maybe we'll do a little giveaway. I'm going to do it on this blue, this small piece of fabric that I had left over. And I think it was, I did the Cricket Easter on this one. And it's a hand dyed from that I picked up at Needleworker's Delight. So there's no color on it, but it's blue. And the reason that I'm doing it on blue, because besides the blue sky, is I do not want to stitch the blue behind this snowflake. So I'm going to stitch the snowflake and leave the blue out. And so I have that all kitted up. The next one is a pattern that I had gotten from my Just Cross Stitch Magazine Christmas edition last year, but I lent that to my daughter-in-law. So I have the finished product that I stitch. I never fully finished it in that I didn't put a hanger on it or anything. I made a circle and folded the fabric in the back, and I glued it from what I can tell here, and then I put a piece of, you know what, you can see a lot more detail of the finishing through your camera than you can in real life. I can see all the indentations of the stitch piece that was folded under. And then I just put a piece of cording that I bought, I did not make, around it. And I didn't know how I wanted to do it because I saw that Bonna had put it in a mitten. It was the center of the mitten, but I'd have to make a pretty big mitten for it to sit properly. That was one thought. And then the other thing is just putting a hanger on it. I wouldn't put another bow, I don't think, because of the bow that's here, but just a hanger from the back and glue it and put another piece of felt to hold the piece down. I haven't decided. I'm going to do it on the same fabric. This is fabric that I had dyed myself, and these dots are because another fabric touched it when I was in the dyeing process. So, but I think there's enough here that I can work, like if I figured out where I was putting it, I should be able to center it a little further away from there and use that piece. The next one that I want to do is I have trouble with these initials, JBW Designs. I made this Christmas tree already, but I didn't finish it in a triangle, so I'm going to give it another shot. I'm going to try this one this time, and then I'm going to try seeing if I could manage a triangle shape. That's the plan. That's the plan. Next is a Lizzie Kate, and this is Tidy Tidings 19, and I have already stitched the Santa and the Jingle Jingle. So I'm going to try and do, in 2 days, I'm going to try and do the snowman and the elf. Girl elf, it looks like to me. And I'm going to do it on this piece of fabric that I purchased at Needleworkers, but when the tag is missing, I really don't know what it is other than I think it's a 28 count, but I don't know the color of it, and it's pretty dark. It's mottled. It's a pretty fabric, but I'm sorry, I don't know the color of it, and I don't know what I stitched on the other part that's missing to even look it up, so I apologize for that. So let me just get back to my notes to make sure that I told you everything. Yep. So that's what I'm working on for November, and then after I finish those 2-day rotations on each of them, hopefully I'll have a couple of finishes, not fully finished, but finished pieces that in the next rotation I can then fully finish them and have them done for Christmas. Some of them might probably be Christmas presents for people, and then I will put my other rotations that I've been working on, like pumpkins for sale and things like that. Have a wonderful, happy Halloween. Thank you for coming by and visiting with me, and I'll see you in about mid-November and let you know my progress on my ornaments and my regular stitching. And I can't believe that the month is like, months are flying by, and before you know it, it'll be a new year, and that's almost scary. That the days sometimes go slow, but the years go by so fast. But then again, some days like just fly by and I say, where did it go? Anyway, lots of happy stitching, hugs sent your way, and thanks for visiting. Bye now.